Number 8, the Kendall Jenner Pepsi commercial. The famous Pepsi commercial that made the rounds back on the internet back in 2017. While America was embroiled in protests and the exposing of the police force for brutality and blatant racism, Kendall Jenner thought that was the right time to crack open a cold, crisp Pepsi and tell everyone to just get along. While the rest of the world was fighting for equal rights, Pepsi released a commercial that put the reality star at the forefront of a pretty cringy moment where she was at the front of an unspecified protest citing peace and love with signs saying, quote, "Join the conversation." Kendall even bravely handed a Pepsi to a police officer in full riot gear. He drank it, and the entire crowd of protesters cheered and laughed and hugged in glee. Yay for equality. One YouTube commenter even stated, quote, "I find it amazing how they managed to offend so many groups of people and yet say absolutely nothing at the same time." Obviously, the internet was enraged, as at the same time this video dropped, protesters were being taken in unmarked vans by the FBI, and people were rightly angry at Pepsi for trying to profit off of the mass suffering of others. Kendall also swiftly apologized for appearing in the video, saying, quote, "I felt so fucking stupid. The fact that I would offend other people or hurt other people was definitely not the intent." Number 7, Justin Bieber and Anne Frank. While on tour in Amsterdam, Justin Bieber made a stop at the Anne Frank house back in 2013. While there, he wrote a message in the guest book that lit the internet on fire. The then 19-year-old Justin wrote, quote, "Truly inspiring to be able to come here. Anne was a great girl. Hopefully she would have been a believer." It provoked fierce online criticism for Bieber, who was accused of making the museum dedicated to the horrific experiences of Jewish people during the war about himself. However, the museum itself defended the star, although they did add the comment that his comment, quote, "wasn't very sensible." A spokesperson for the museum defended Bieber on the BBC, stating, quote, "He's 19. It's a crazy life he's leading. He didn't mean bad. And also, it's nice that he made the effort. He didn't have to come." And I mean, for what it's worth, and if you know me, I'm the last to defend celebrities, I kind of get where he's coming from. If Anne Frank were allowed to live now, where she would be a normal girl doing normal teenage girl things, she would have been afforded the luxury of obsessing over a pop star like so many kids do. But sadly, she wasn't. And I think that may have been the point that Bieber was trying to make, albeit in a very tone-deaf manner. Number 6, Sam Smith having a meltdown. If 2020 has taught us anything, it's that celebrities love to complain from their ivory thrones. Take Sam Smith, for example. During the strict times of the stay-at-home order, they took the opportunity to take pictures of themselves crying while sitting on the steps of their multi-million-dollar mansion, with the caption about having a meltdown because they were forced to stay at home. Meanwhile, New York City had to bring in emergency ships just to house the amount of bodies that had been overwhelming crematoriums, to the point that they couldn't house any more victims of illness. Poor Sam Smith and their sad little life.
And number 7, James Charles. James Charles rose to fame quickly when he became the first male CoverGirl spokesperson at the age of 16. However, following a feud with fellow beauty blogger Tati Westbrook, James's following would fall from 16 million to 13 million followers. The drama over James promoting Sugar Bear hair vitamins, which is a direct competitor to Tati's hair supplement company Halo Beauty, would cause both stars to cut ties with each other, and Tati would then come for James and would start to expose a list of his bad behaviors. James's behavior online to be successful and adored by thousands had covered up a dark layer of his true personality, and after Tati exposed him, he only seemed to spiral more out of control, which made us all unfollow the star, as we could no longer ignore the red flags he was sending us. And number 6, Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star is a pretty problematic character. No matter what, he's always in the drama. He's caught lying or trying his hardest just to get in or out of drama, and it's exhausting trying to keep up with him. The man has made it his whole life to know the tea on just about every situation in Hollywood, and it really makes us wonder how he has so much time on his hands to be so problematic. Over the years, many people have started calling out the makeup guru, and his fans have a tendency to forget that he hasn't changed and that he's actually just managed to make us all think he did, so he can carry on with his chaotic lifestyle. Jeffree has a tendency to target people and belittle them in ways to make his views soar. Now, you think after being exposed so many times, he would wake up and see that his behavior is no longer okay, but it looks like he won't be changing anytime soon, as his influence has always been problematic, and that's why he's been cancelled. At number 5, Chris Brown. Chris Brown used to be a heartthrob that stole our hearts. However, for more than a decade, Brown has repeatedly been accused of treating women poorly, making it really hard for any of us to support the guy. The most high-profile incident involves his former girlfriend Rihanna. When news broke about the way he treated her, we were all left heartbroken to see the images that TMZ leaked of her face. Following the incident, Chris Brown just seemed to get more aggressive, and multiple women would go on to file restraining orders and even call police on the star. The fact that Chris Brown still even had a career after what he did to Rihanna had us all shook. However, his controversial actions have made it pretty hard for any of us to support him, and there's a reason why a lot of us can't even listen to his songs anymore. And number 4, Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton and her family used to be the Kardashians of Hollywood. However, the blonde heiress quickly went from being someone we all wanted to be to being someone we all wanted to forget. The reason many people seem to hate the star is because over the last decade, she has been marketed as a spoiled rich girl by the media and doesn't even seem to notice. She hasn't really been working, and she's been using her connections to live out this teenage dream even though she's no longer a teenager. If she would just live a quiet life and be unproblematic, people might actually start to like her again. She keeps trying to ruin people's dreams and hopes by incorporating the idea that if you want to make it, you need to have rich parents, which isn't true at all. She's made it pretty hard to actually support her, and her image not only hurts herself, but it hurts her family as well.
Number 3, Logan Paul in the Japanese forest. Okay, for this one, I'll say Logan definitely got pretty swift recourse after he published a video on his YouTube channel of him and his friends traversing through a forest in Japan that is known as being a place where people go to end their own lives. He and his friends had come across a body of an individual who had done just that and decided to film the body and themselves looking shocked while staring at it. The move was swiftly remarked as extremely insensitive, especially since it was monetized, showing that Paul got financial gain off of the immense suffering of others. His career was basically temporarily ruined over the video, although he's back now with a very successful podcast, albeit it's a bit more grown up. Number 2, Gwyneth Paltrow's life is harder than everyone else's. Gwyneth Paltrow is the queen of pissing people off. While she had a long history of saying things like, quote, "I'd rather die than eat cheese from a tin," she also managed to upset basically every mom by moaning about how her life is harder than everyone else's. Back in 2014, she told E! News, quote, "I think it's different when you have an office job because it's routine and, you can do all the stuff in the morning and then you can come home in the evening. When you're shooting a movie, they're like, we need you to go to Wisconsin for 2 weeks. And then you work 14 hours a day, and that part of it is very difficult. I think to have a regular job and be a mom is not as, of course there are challenges, but it's not like being on set." I think she failed to mention all the babysitters and full-time nannies and chefs she can afford to hire to care for her kids while she's off making millions of dollars. Number 1, Kendall Jenner and her cucumbers. Kendall Jenner once again has made herself known to be completely out of touch with reality on the new episodes of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kendall insisted on cutting a cucumber herself while her mom seemed worried and asked her to ask the chef to do it. But she said no because cutting a cucumber is, quote, "pretty easy." Which it is, but not for her apparently. The model absolutely could not figure out how to properly cut a cucumber to the point where Chris stepped in and told her to get their in-house chef to do it for her. People online were calling it pathetic and tragic, which it absolutely was.
Number 10, Jay-Z. Yes, it's true that he's a famous rapper with a stellar career that made millions and millions of dollars, and the fact that he's married to Beyonce is definitely something to brag about. With all that considered, anyone would be cocky, but Jay-Z takes it to a whole other level. In fact, his arrogance was at an all-time high in 2013, when he was heavily criticized by social activist Harry Belafonte and other prominent figures in the black community for what they believe is a lack of social responsibility. He responded in literally the worst way possible, quote, "I'm offended by that because first of all, and this is gonna sound arrogant, but my presence is charity, just who I am, just like Obama's is." He went on to say that Obama provides hope, whether he does anything. The hope that he provides for a nation and outside of America is enough. So basically, he says that he's doing the same thing just by being famous. Not only that, but in 2012, Jay-Z dissed Robert De Niro, who was apparently a big fan of his music. The actor reportedly called Jay-Z 6 times to work with him and received a grand total of 0 calls back. De Niro then verbally confronted Jay-Z about the situation and said, "It doesn't matter who you are, if someone calls you 6 times, you call them back. It doesn't matter who you are. That is just rude." Number 9, Gwyneth Paltrow. She's one of those celebrities that really need to be humbled. Even before trying to be some kind of lifestyle guru, she made it clear a long time ago just how out of touch she is with regular people. She once made an entire population of working mothers angry when she said, quote, It's much harder for me. I think to have a regular job and to be a mom is not as, of course there are challenges, but it's not like being on set. Not only that, but in 2009, she was quoted saying, "I am who I am. I can't pretend to be somebody who makes $25,000 a year." Even earlier in 2006, she trash-talked Reese Witherspoon's career. Quote, "Why is she doing these stupid romantic comedies? But of course it's for money and status." And let's not forget all the drama with the Goop Lab, which is just another way for Paltrow to push her so-called healthy lifestyle onto regular people, where she posts must-have outfits that cost hundreds if not thousands of dollars and tries to frame it as a necessity. Her website was also heavily criticized for promoting questionable things like sprays and crystals that are meant to prevent mental manipulation by people, not to mention potentially dangerous supplements that were marketed to pregnant women. So it's no surprise that she earned the top spot in Star's 2013 Most Hated Celebrity list. Number 8. Jennifer Lopez. JLo's reputation as a diva precedes her, and over the years it's become blaringly obvious that she is not at all down to earth. She didn't hold back when it came to her opinion on sharing the stage with Shakira at the 2020 Super Bowl halftime show. In her newly released documentary called Halftime, she labeled it as the worst idea in the world. Quote, "If it was going to be a double headliner, they should have given us 20 minutes. That's what they should have effing done." Basically, it turns out that Jennifer was frustrated with the NFL for booking 2 headliners and making them share the stage at the same time. She's also notorious for refusing to talk to certain people, like in 2012 when she got a hotel maid fired for asking for her signature, or when she was on a commercial airline and a flight attendant asked JLo what she wanted to drink, and rather than telling the attendant, she turned to her assistant to have them relay the drink order. Let's also mention the infamous Movie Line interview in 1998, when she basically decided to trash all the other celebrities that were big at the time and try to trivialize their career. When asked about Madonna, she said, quote, "Do I think she's a great performer? Yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Acting is what I do. So I'm harder on people when they say, oh, I can do that, and I'm like, no, don't spit on my craft."
Number 5. Gal Gadot's Imagine. Another top moment from the mess that was 2020. Although she wasn't the only celebrity to take part in this weird out-of-touch video, Gal Gadot was the spearhead of it all. In a mashup with tons of different high-profile celebrities who all sang John Lennon's Imagine while locked inside their mega mansions, the moment was supposed to come across as heartwarming. Instead, people just saw these celebrities as not understanding the severity of what was happening to everyone around the world. Millions of people were dying, and Gal Gadot thought it was a good idea to preach peace and love while inside her heavily surveillanced mansion with a swimming pool and private chef. But like I said before, it wasn't just her. She also got Will Ferrell, Amy Adams, Natalie Portman, Mark Ruffalo, and Zoe Kravitz, among many others, to sing the song as well. Number 4, James Corden in a rat suit singing with Camila Cabello. Listen, I'm fine with celebrities doing their weird little things so long as it's over there where I don't have to see them. Kind of like a spider in my room that stays on the other side of the room and very far away from me. But when they decide to inconvenience people going about their day, nah, that's when it gets weird. Like for instance, one Los Angeles morning when James Corden and Camila Cabello decided it was a good idea to stop traffic in a city that's already known for insane gridlock and sing the song Can't Hurt You as a promotion for the new Cinderella movie that Camila stars in. James Corden was in a rat suit singing the song while everyone blocked traffic. Someone online even joked, quote, "Your husband just sliced the tip of his finger off making dinner and it won't stop bleeding. You're rushing to the emergency room and this happens. What you doing?" And then linked the video of James hip thrusting at a car in a rat costume.
Number 3, Russell Crowe. The actor has long been the poster boy for arrogant Hollywood types, blokey swearing, and random acts of PG violence. There were rumors that he threatened any media platform that published stories about him having a fling with Courtney Love, and some say that he chose to have a bodyguard accompany him into public toilets to ensure that no one else enters while he was there. But one of the wildest displays of his arrogance was in 2002, when he intimidated and attacked the producer of the BAFTA Awards for cutting his speech short and preventing him from reciting poetry to the world. Around this time, Crowe appeared to be maxing out on his obnoxious troublemaking, and in 2004 he beat up his own bodyguard because he insinuated that the actor had had enough to drink. Then only a year later, he was charged with criminal possession of a weapon for allegedly throwing a phone that cut a hotel clerk's eye, all because he was unable to get connected with his wife. The Australian actor is also notoriously difficult to work with and has been described as having a legendarily bad temper, regularly shouting at his scriptwriters, yelling at them on phone calls while discussing the story. In fact, while filming Gladiator, Crowe allegedly threatened a seasoned producer and said that he would kill him with his bare hands because he is annoying the hell out of him. Number 2. Lea Michele. She has recently made headlines for replacing fellow actress Beanie Feldstein in the Broadway production of Funny Girl, and fans are fuming. They have good reason to be upset because Lea Michele is the complete opposite of humble. In fact, the actress is still being plagued by multiple allegations of racism and bullying that surfaced in June of 2020. According to actors that worked with her on the set of Glee, she was an extremely spoiled and hateful person. While only rumors circulated about her demeanor before, everything changed when the actress tweeted her support for Black Lives Matter and her former co-star Samantha Ware called her out on her hypocrisy. After Samantha spoke out, dozens of co-stars, film crew and staff flooded social media with stories about the diva. In fact, one Twitter user shared an instance when she worked with Michelle and the late Corey Monteith. Quote, "I've been telling people this for years. I worked with her once. She literally would only speak to me through her assistant, just not addressing my presence. She was 2 feet away. Corey was kind and incredibly lovely to work with." So it's safe to say that her real-life personality matched up with her arrogant on-screen persona as Rachel Berry. And number 1, Shia LaBeouf. Never a stranger to acting out bad behavior or questionable choices, Shia LaBeouf's antics have given him a reputation for being one of the most obnoxious actors that Hollywood has ever produced. One perfect example of this was when the Transformers actor tried his hand at directing and came out with his very own short film called Howard Cantor, which was shown at Cannes in May 2012 and received significant acclaim and praise from critics everywhere. But what people didn't realize is that he literally stole the whole script and tried to claim it off as his own. The script was published online in late 2013, and comic fans noticed that the story was copied pretty much word for word from a book by Daniel Close, without credit, consent, or even compensation. To make matters worse, when confronted about it, Shia apologized and then later revealed to have plagiarized all of his apologies from other people. Only a few weeks later, as a publicity stunt to gain attention, he declared that he was retiring from his persona as a celebrity and started appearing in public wearing a paper bag on his head with the words "I am not famous anymore" written on it. If any celebrity would benefit from being humbled, it's definitely Shia LaBeouf. Number 10. Will Smith. Most people know about the infamous slap at this year's Oscars, but Will Smith's arrogant behavior actually dates back a few decades. Just ask Janet Hubert. She played Aunt Viv on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air alongside Will Smith in the 90s sitcom. When Hubert left the show in 1993, she said that it was due to creative differences, but eventually revealed that she practically got bullied off the show by Smith, who was a rising star at the time. In fact, he went on the record publicly dissing his former co-star several times, and during one radio interview he said, quote, "I can straight up say that Janet Hubert wanted the show to be the Aunt Viv of Bel-Air show." As a result, Janet was somewhat shut out of the industry and labeled as hard to work with. When asked if Smith had matured since those comments, she told TMZ that he is still an egomaniac and has not grown up. It wasn't until the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion special in 2020 that Smith even acknowledged that he made life hell for the actress during their 3rd season. Hubert opened up about how those rumors had cost her everything, including her career and reputation. Quote, "Calling a black woman difficult is Hollywood's kiss of death." Number 9. Miles Teller. While being interviewed for Esquire in 2015, he was quoted saying, "I was thinking about how I probably think I'm better looking than the public thinks I am. Maybe it's because I came from a small town, but I always did well for myself." A lot of people seem to think that he was implying that girls from small towns have lower standards, or that there simply aren't as many good-looking people in small towns. Either way, it was a bit of a strange remark. Teller has also had no issue insulting John Cusack by saying, "I guess we look alike. We did some similar movies. He wasn't traditionally good-looking, he was offbeat and quirky but confident. I get it, but I don't want his career. That last comment seemed a little bit unnecessary, but okay. Not only that, but Teller tried to distance himself from his fellow actors. Quote, I feel like a lot of actors of my generation are not proper actors. I want to break out of that whole group of actors in their early 20s and really start to put stuff down that lets you know I take this seriously. It's only been a few years since he landed his first major role, but the actor has already developed something of a reputation in the industry. He admitted to only taking his role in the movie Divergent for business reasons, and that the blockbuster left him feeling dead inside. Clearly, Miles Teller is just a little too comfortable throwing his own movies under the bus after he receives the check. Number 8. Lindsay Lohan. The actress was exposed for her extremely obnoxious attitude by writer Jacqueline D. Powers, who had originally planned on shadowing the then 25-year-old, but the writer for Plum Miami saw firsthand what the actress was like over a weekend and proceeded to write an article which painted Lindsay as demanding and a drunken diva who traveled with a revolving pack of pseudo-chaperones. She revealed that Lohan had a full-on meltdown over a misplaced pair of heels and mentioned the time that she shouted at a parking lot attendant saying, "Move that cone, I'm Lindsay Lohan." According to the journalist, this incident foreshadowed the arrogance and demanding personality she exhibited as her sweet girl facade started slipping. Jacqueline claimed that Lindsay was constantly looking for drama, and the actress allegedly told her that she was indignant that she was not considered for the movie Black Swan because she took ballet classes until she was 19. Add all of this to the incident in 2018 when the actress was recorded speaking to what looked like a homeless family sitting on the street and tried to convince them to give her their children so that she could take them to a hotel. When they did not respond to the offer, she attempted to reach for one of the kids and take them with her by force. Number 3. DaBaby. Another celebrity that's extremely entitled is DaBaby. The 30-year-old rapper was accused of making homophobic remarks at a music festival concert in Miami last year. DaBaby told the crowd that if you didn't show up with any STIs, quote, that'll make you die in 2 to 3 weeks, then put a cell phone light in the air. He was actually referencing the particular STI that most commonly affects the queer community, much to everyone's outrage. In fact, he shouted many other questionable things at the crowd, mainly trying to hype them up with disparaging comments about gay men. Of course, his behavior quickly drew massive criticism, and his attempt to clarify his views didn't really help his case at all. He claimed that his intentions were to uplift gay fans who are disease-free because they are not, quote, nasty junkies. Naturally, he got ripped into by the LGBTQ+ community, Madonna, Elton John, and his collaborator Dua Lipa. He was booted from the 2022 Lollapalooza tour and had a concert in Atlanta called off, as well as the fashion brand Boohoo Man bolting on a deal with him, and radio stations putting his music into time out. Number 2. Bradley Cooper. Few people would believe that the Hangover star is just another obnoxious Hollywood type, but according to his ex-wife's autobiography, Jennifer Esposito believed that he was arrogant and a master manipulator. In the wake of their 5-month marriage breakdown, she claimed that the actor actually had a mean, cold side that he attempted to keep hidden from the public, which he could turn on and off like a switch. The autobiography called Jennifer's Way doesn't mention Bradley by name, but the time frame that she mentions fits with the time that she was with the Hollywood star. The 49-year-old actress described being asked out by the actor and ignoring an entire marching band squad of red flags because she didn't think the romance would pan out. But sure enough, they got married in 2007, and according to Jennifer, their relationship quickly became unhealthy and she felt very alone. Meanwhile, rumors were circulating within the industry that Bradley would often exhibit diva behavior, which only intensified when the Brazilian newspaper Glamorama claimed that he intentionally ignored his fans while filming The Hangover 3, and was also late to several press conferences and rude when it came to answering questions from reporters. And coming in at number 1, P. Diddy. Although Sean P. Diddy Combs seems to be in the public eye a little less over the years, there was a long span of time when he was seemingly everywhere, from the music scene to television and the fashion world. You don't have to dig too deep online to unearth some of the most cockiest things that the rapper has ever said. For instance, when talking about his love life, he was extremely overconfident. Quote, being an international rap superstar, sex is one of the easiest things to get, so there is a point where you get tired of it. Not only that, but at the launch of his clothing line, he was quoted telling reporters, "I am fashion." And let's not forget about the infamous Playboy interview that he did. Quote, if I'm not inspiring you at this point, you're a lost hope. I dare you to write down all of my achievements. It will be overwhelming. Who else has conquered television? Who else has conquered fashion? Honestly, it's hard to believe these statements are even real, but it does sound very similar to things Kanye has said over the years. Diddy also received a lot of backlash after hosting this year's Billboard Awards, with many people criticizing the rapper for using the platform to blatantly promote all things related to him and not the show. Talk about ego.
And number 10, we have Jennifer Lawrence. Now, it's no lie that Jennifer Lawrence's career started off strong due to some of her iconic roles in films such as The X-Men and Hunger Games. She also worked really hard for her roles in the films Winter's Bone and Silver Lining Playbook. At the time, she made us think she could do it all, and her down-to-earth personality made us all love her. But then everything started to change and we actually all just started to get pretty annoyed with her actions. Even one time, the star appeared on SNL and began to rage on with her quirky, annoying, relatable charm, and fans started to believe that she was just another Hollywood diva hiding behind this fake cute persona. Then she started appearing in films such as Mother and Red Sparrow, which caused her career to splinter and her fan base would then start to divide. Also, we can't forget the time in Hawaii when she caused a sacred rock to fall down the mountain. Whatever the reasons may be, we all can't stop hating on this actor recently. And number 9, Katy Perry. Katy Perry is no stranger to intense media attention, as the pop star has always had high levels of public criticism. It's no lie that Katy Perry absolutely dominated the music scene in 2010 with numerous monster singles off of her album Teenage Dream. However, then the Witness era started and everyone kinda recoiled their support for the star. After Katy cut her hair and dyed it blonde, she would set out to release a string of embarrassing singles like her songs Bon Appetit and Swish Swish. Both songs were actually pretty horrifying to listen to. On top of the songs, Katy began to act really weird and we all didn't catch on to her odd behavior until she made an appearance on Ellen, and it made us all cringe. She even had Ellen wishing the show was over. Now, Katy was dealing with depression at the time, which likely played a huge part in her odd behavior and dramatic transformation. However, her newly woke image and her ongoing feud with Taylor Swift have been pretty criticized, and it's hard to support the star as she isn't willing to grow, learn, and change. Hey Peaches, are you enjoying this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And number 8, Kanye West. Now, Kanye West is iconic, and he's been pretty popular as a rapper as he's gone on to sell millions of albums. However, that hasn't stopped people from having negative opinions about him. Now, we all used to love Kanye for his ability to speak his mind, however, his actions lately have us all pretty divided when it comes to supporting the star. Many people have started to view Kanye as someone who can't be trusted because it seems like everything lately seems to set the rapper off, and he's been saying a lot of controversial things that make us all just shake our heads. Kanye has been making it into headlines for the wrong reasons, and it has us all questioning why he would try to achieve fame with such meaningless and hurtful statements. I think we can all agree we miss the old Kanye.
Number 6, Amber Heard. You could argue that the Aquaman actress has already been humbled big time after losing the highly publicized defamation trial brought against her by Johnny Depp. But as followers of the case were glued to their screens for the 6 weeks that the trial was live streamed, viewers were subjected to various stories of her arrogance and entitlement. In fact, when Depp's sound engineer Keenan Wyatt appeared in court, and during his testimony, he testified about a time that he joined the former couple on a private jet flight from Boston to Los Angeles in May of 2014. It was then that he noticed that the actress was giving her ex-husband the cold shoulder, and at one point he tried to comfort her by telling her that Depp cares about her, which resulted in Heard yelling at him, saying, "How dare you talk to me?" and screaming at him to get away from her. It was also revealed during a trial that Heard bullied her ex-assistant Kate James, refusing to pay her a living wage. And according to James, one of her duties as Heard's assistant was collecting 2 copies of any magazine that featured Amber on the cover and storing them in a garage. So it's likely that the actress was extremely self-obsessed among other things. Number 5, Ezra Miller. The actor has grown increasingly entitled over the years ever since landing pivotal roles in huge movies like Fantastic Beasts and The Flash. But it's surprising that Ezra Miller's crazy behavior has gone unchecked for so long. For instance, in 2020, they were caught on video choking a woman outside a bar in Iceland. The incident took place after Miller was approached by a group of eager young fans who were just excited to have spotted the actor. But the interaction escalated and Miller was heard asking the woman, "Oh, you wanna fight? That's what you wanna do?" She was clearly confused and thought that Miller was just joking until they grabbed her by the throat and violently threw her to the ground. They were also involved in a string of arrests in Hawaii, and in one incident, officials say that Miller became irate after being asked to leave a gathering at a bar and threw a chair which struck a 26-year-old woman on the head, injuring her very badly. Not only that, but the 29-year-old has also been accused by 2 musicians of stealing their music and trying to pass it off as their own without giving them credit. Music producer Oliver Ignatius and rapper Guy Scavera claim the actor stole the music they worked on and posted it to social media without credits. Number 4. Chrissy Teigen. The 35-year-old cookbook author faced heavy criticism recently following reports of cyberbullying and extremely arrogant behavior, even for a Hollywood celebrity. So many celebrities came forward to accuse Teigen, including Lindsay Lohan, Farrah Abraham, and Project Runway star Michael Costello, of being extremely cruel online. It was really bad. In fact, the model had to apologize for telling reality star Courtney Stodden to take her own life in 2011, and she only backpedaled on her comments when she was called out for them. When speaking about the incident, Teigen admitted that she was, quote, being an insecure, attention-seeking troll. But she has also bullied little children. When talking about a 9-year-old in 2013, she tweeted, quote, "Is it okay to call a small child cocky?" Not only that, but a clip of the model went viral when she was hosting the Billboard Music Awards in 2015, and she was making her way to the stage when a woman tripped over her gown and fell. Instead of stopping to help the woman up or even check to see if she was okay, she just kept strutting her stuff. If anyone needs to be humbled, it's definitely Chrissy Teigen.
At number 3, Nicki Minaj. Okay, we all used to be huge Nicki Minaj fans because she made all of our Barbie dreams come true. Being one of the most successful female rappers, we all used to sit in our basements and scream out her lyrics, especially when it came to her song Super Bass. However, over the last decade, the star has been pretty problematic, and it really made us question her true motives. It seems like if you're a rapper entering into the industry under Nicki, you better watch out, because it seems like she comes for everyone in an attempt to block them from reaching the top. Just take her feud with Cardi B for an example. These two women had the chance to become a powerful duo. However, Nicki felt threatened that another female was climbing the ranks faster than she ever could, and she decided to come for Cardi in a chance to snub her rise. Who can forget the time Cardi threw her shoe at Minaj? It was just one of those moments we knew that we could no longer trust the rapper, as she was no longer real, and she proved that she was really unsupportive towards other females entering into the industry, which was really sad to see. And number 2, Rebecca Black. Rebecca Black was cute until she released her single Friday in 2011. After that, we all started to dislike her for having the most horrendous song stuck in our heads. I swear, even to this day, when I hear the word Friday, all my brain can think of it's Friday, I'm gonna get down on a Friday. And if you haven't heard the song, take my advice, don't, as you just might not like Fridays anymore. After Friday was released, it was quickly dubbed as the world's worst song. Now, Rebecca's video would rack up millions of views, but the reviews were mainly negative, with hundreds of thousands of negative comments. Rebecca would even try to go on to resume her career, but she could never leave Friday behind, which caused her to disappear from the industry completely. And at number 1 today, we have Kristen Stewart. For many years, we all admired Kristen Stewart until she became labeled as problematic and accused of wheeling out some pretty bad behavior in a bid to score attention in headlines. Many people actually started to hate on Kristen Stewart because of her role in the movie franchise Twilight. When many people started to label her as a bad actress, many people forgot to realize that her character in the movie was actually just planned badly, and that throughout her entire career in Hollywood, she has proven to be an extremely talented actress. When Kristen was caught cheating on Robert Pattinson, many fans would come for the star as they felt betrayed that she could do something so horrible to someone so beautiful. The media also has a tendency to go with any story they have on her, and some articles have even had her fans divided on whether they should love her or hate her.